Well, good morning. Some people don't like it that I keep referring to the time, but I'm choosing to start these at 555 because that represents life force energy which we need to take control of in our own personal lives, or take responsibility for how we use the energy that we're giving to recognize the interconnectedness of all life and transform the 666 from the beast to the avatar. That's our mission. That's our job if you see it, if you can accept it. It may seem like a mission impossible, but if we accept it, we have great power and great responsibility to make the world that works for everyone. Anyway, the title for today follows up on the video that I did yesterday. It's Who Will Release the Collateral Accounts? My intention for yesterday's video regarding the ownership of the collateral accounts, the massive world trusts, was to help everyone grasp the point that they belong to all of us, to humanity as we move into the golden age, or the age of spiritual awakening. Obviously, since these funds have not been released, someone or something is holding them back, holding us back from the means to launch the many humanitarian projects, as well as the production and implementation of the paradigm-shattering technologies that include energy generation and healing and wellness, among other things. Several people have claimed they are in control of some or all of these collateral accounts that warehouse vast amounts of gold, silver, platinum, and other commodities considered wealth. SwissIndo Mr. Sugih, the Dragon family's M1, Karen Hudes Wolfgang Struck, and even the Pope are among those named. They all say they are the real M1. Frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn who releases them. These and the CAFR funds that have been hidden from the public belong to all of us for our enlightenment, our awakening, our empowerment, and enrichment. Whoever is in charge, I say, let the good times roll. I had a letter that I forgot. Let's save this. Okay, yeah. I was surprised that someone asked on yesterday's video, so who owns the collateral accounts? I thought I made it clear that we all do. These are accounts that were set up, I believe, with spiritual foresight for the age that we're entering into now, the age of Aquarius, the golden age, as I said, the age of spiritual awakening. This is the time that we're in right now. We're sort of like in a transitional phase between the old age of secrecy and lies and fraud and deception and corruption and all the things that have gone on for a long time in our world. And we are being given the opportunity to transmute and transform that old world into a true new world order that does work for everyone. Not the old world order on steroids where these elite want-to-be gods control everything and don't allow anyone any freedom unless it serves their purposes. Well, this whole mindset of something that serves the purpose of a few is insane. It's psychopathic, it's sociopathic, it's something that needs to be relegated as quickly as possible to the ash heaps of the distant past so that we can move in to the future with great promise and great expectation and great creativity and great productivity and ambition to make this new world. And it has to be created. We're going to create it by the energies that we already have in us. Now, I mentioned in the blurb that there are a lot of different people that claim to be M1. I mean, I think I've heard of I named 4. I think I've heard of others. Of course, I've been working with the SwissIndo people. I am a SwissIndo delegate. I am also named as an advisor to the World Council. I take that seriously, even though I don't know yet what it means. And these videos are a way that I'm advising the World Council, whatever it is. And I've more recently been introduced to the Red Dragon, or the Dragon family, by means of the ambassador, with whom I maintain regular contact. And now it's direct contact just between he and myself. between us. We talk to each other. It's no longer done through a middleman. It's just he and I conversing, sometimes with video, sometimes without video, and no, they're not recorded yet. We will record one at some point, but that hasn't happened yet. I also interviewed Karen Hudes, and that interview, by the way, has the most hits of any of my videos that I've ever done. She named, I think it's Wolfgang Struck or Strack or something like that, as the M1. And in a recent report by Benjamin Fulford, he said that the Pope, that there are those trying to get the Pope named as the M1. Now, I guess the Dragon family is actually the one that names the M1, from what I'm told. Now, again, do I know anything for a fact? Truthfully, no. I go by what I feel, what my intuition tells me, and I'm not always right, but I do feel that I and all of us are actually being guided step by step, day by day, into a higher awakening, a higher awareness, a higher reality, greater truth, greater understanding of how things work. And as I said also in the blurb, frankly, Scarlet, to steal a line from Gone with the Wind, frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn who releases the funds. I really don't. I mean, I'd like to see a world that works for everyone. And that means I want everyone to be honored. Whoever Wolfgang Struck is, whoever the Pope, well, we know who the Pope is. He's one of the child molesters that now became Pope, and he was the Dark Pope before he became the White Pope, which means he was the head of the Jesuits, which is the head of the Jesuits is always considered the dark or the unseen Pope. Well, there's lots of things that are unseen, including the CAFR accounts that I mentioned in the blurb. What are CAFR accounts? Every corporation is required by law to file an annual, a comprehensive annual report, a financial report. And Burian, I can't remember the first name. He revealed a whole lot of this. Google it, CAFR. It's Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. Our governments are hiding the vast amount of what they make, earn, create. They hide that from the public. They only report the things that are the taxes in, the expenses out, but they don't include all that they make by investing in the game called stock market and commodity trading, because that's where they make the vast amount of their money, because that's what runs this gambling casino of our financial system. And people are saying, well, it's going to collapse. Yes, and it needs to collapse. The whole financial system needs to collapse and be replaced with a new financial system that serves the people, which is what the collateral accounts and the trust funds were set up to do. And when Saint Germain, for example, set up his trust, he allowed the Rothschilds to, and the foundation of the Illuminati, he allowed them to do this fractional reserve banking thing. He taught them this process so that these funds could be so enormous that it would make all of us millionaires. Because the intention of creation, Creator, and it feels like I got a hair in my mouth or something. The intention of Creator was to bless us when we awaken and we finally remember who we are, and we're willing and able to take responsibility for our lives and the world that we're creating together, that we would have the means to do it. And the means is financial means. Now, I know that we're going to move to a world eventually that doesn't need money, but we're not there yet. I've said that lots and lots of times. I've gotten lots of criticism by those that are trying to work on programs that eliminate money. Well, I don't see that ever happening on a wide-scale basis. I just don't see. I mean, all the barter systems and the trading that we were able to do, it needs agreement. But in order for it to work on a global level, you need something that's globally implemented. And yes, it's a new world order of what? Of finance. Now, I'm working at many levels. I'm working at levels to help me increase my power and my vitality and my happiness, because that's important to be able to have an attitude of love, an attitude of gratitude, an attitude of joy. And that's why people don't like it that I keep talking about the divine lover, and I keep talking about my relationship with this married lady. In fact, yesterday I spent 6 hours with a lady who has been my lover in the past. In fact, she's the last person I ever actually made love to completely, completely. And I hadn't seen her actually for a good while. And we were together last in the beginning of the year in 2011. I didn't realize that she had been in a 2-year relationship in that interim period, but she's not in it now. That relationship ended. But we talked for 2 hours. I bought her a bottle of wine, took her out to eat. My intention was to possibly open up or resume a romantic relationship. Well, a couple things became very clear to me. Number one, she doesn't want to be involved sexually with anyone that does not promise exclusivity. Well, I will not make that promise at this point in my life to anyone. I mean, I've always been willing to make that commitment, that promise before, but I'm not anymore, because I have someone in my life who is married, who we are going to become lovers, but she doesn't have a lot of time to spend with me. She's a very busy lady. And the time that we have will be limited. I want to develop romantic or love relationships with other people. And this is the key. This is the key. It has to be someone who can envision where we're going, not stuck with where we've been. And that's what I realized when I talked with this former lover. She's actually more stuck now. In fact, right toward the end of our get-together, I said to her, you know, when we met in 2005, you were so much more optimistic than you are now. She's a total pessimist now. I mean, I listened to 3 hours of conversation of her railing about how bad the world is and how it's only going to get worse. Well, how can I co-create with someone a new world and empower and use my life force energy to empower my vision if I'm connecting with someone that only sees terrible stuff? You know, I'm sorry, it just doesn't compute. So obviously, my 6 hours wasn't wasted. I learned a lot. I learned a lot more about me as I sat and listened. And I listened and I listened to all of her prognosis of what's going to happen based on her research. And she does a lot of research. She's a powerful healer in many respects. She healed herself of breast cancer. And when it ran in her family, when it killed her mom and it killed her sister, she has both of her breasts, and she's about my age. And that was a number of years ago that she went through this, using only holistic methods. She's a wonderful person. She's pretty, you know. She looks much younger than her age, although I must admit she seems like she's aged more since I saw her last, which sort of surprised me. But be that as it may, this all bears into the collateral accounts, to the transformation of culture, to the healing of our individual selves and our cultural, societal selves. Our collective has to be healed. All of this is related. You may not see the interconnectedness and the relatedness of it all, but it's all interconnected. Now, I still pray for Mr. Sino. I love Mr. Sino, even though I've never met him. I was his dad in a past life, according to the insight he's been given. I don't know that that's true, but I take his word for it. I don't have that gift of being able to see who I was related to, although I do meet people from time to time, including this lady, this married lady that I'm talking to. I mean, we've worked together before. We'll work together again. When I met her daughter, one of her daughters, and instantly, even more quickly than with the mother, I knew this lady. I knew this lady. I just knew her at the soul level. And I meet people like that sometimes, most of the time ladies, because I gravitate toward ladies, but sometimes men. And I just meet them and I say, well, I know you. I've known, my soul knows you. My soul recognizes you. And these are the interconnectedness. These are the relationships that need to be developed within our soul families and our soul groups and with our soul lovers. And soul lovers do not operate on the exclusive thing. I'm convinced that that's not where it's at, because no one person can fulfill all the requirements for the healing that needs to take place. So for me anyway, I see that right now as being willing to allow a couple other lovers at least. You know, I don't know what that's going to look like, and I don't have an exact number. But as long as I can connect with people that have the same vision as me, we can choose to embody the divine feminine and the divine masculine and the divine lover within each of us. And we can co-create by putting that energy into that, so that these collateral accounts and everything that has inhibited humanity's leap forward can be released and can be implemented in the world, so that we can start doing what we came here to do. We can start creating the world that we came here to co-create. And it takes the energy of joy. It takes the life force energy of our sexuality and our spirituality working together as one. It's not an either or, it's a both and proposition. And we need to empower Mr. Sugih and SwissIndo and the people that are in that camp. We need to empower the Dragon family. And they say that the M1 is in the Philippines, and that most of the gold and great wealth, the great treasures, are in the Indonesia and in the Philippines. That's where the vast storage of the gold is. It's not in Hawaii, as Karen Hudes says, according to the Dragon family. Now, do I know any of this is true? No, I don't know any of it is true from firsthand experience. Now, Karen Hudes said that Wolfgang, whatever his last name is, Struck or something like that he's the real M1. I'm believing that Karen is working with people in the Illuminati. She was a World Bank attorney, which she openly admits. Her husband is an attorney that also works for the World Bank. They are highly embedded into the Illuminati structure of the current governance. Well, that current governance has a plan called Agenda 21, which is a new world order, which is nothing more than the old world order on steroids. That is a total control mechanism. It's an oligarchy where you have a handful of fat cats that want to play God and rule the whole world. Well, that can't be. And the Pope is part of that also. It's part of that old world order system that has been a system of domination and control, deception and corruption at levels that most people are still completely blind to, because they still believe the mainstream media, which whitewashes the truth. But I'm an advisor to the World Council, and I'm advising the World Council, whoever you are, whoever claims to be in control of the world and its finances and its system. It's time to let go. I'm serving notice on you. It's time to let go. Your days are numbered. Your time is basically up. And the handwriting is on the wall. You are weighed in the balances and found wanting. You're given an opportunity to repent. You're given an opportunity to come clean and to tell the truth and to be forgiven. In which case, you will be forgiven. If you don't do that, according to the ambassador and according to others that I've read from and heard information from, some of you are going to get taken out. And that means you're not going to be here on this planet anymore, because you're standing in the way. And these collateral accounts, this blessing that was prepared for the people for this time, it's time for the release of these funds. It's time for the release of these accounts. It's time for the unveiling of that will create the empowerment and the enrichment of humanity, so that we can have our golden age, so that we can have our new renaissance, our beautiful, beautiful awakening, where we remember that we are love and that we are connected each to the other, and that it's our job to love each other to the point where we create a reality, a world that works for everyone. Thank you for listening. Namaste.